with his view. It makes the wounded spirit whole and calms the troubled breast. Tis manna to the hungry soul and to the weary rest. Their name the rock on which I build my shield and hiding place. My never failing treasury filled with boundless stores of grace. Jesus, my shepherd, Savior, friend, my prophet, priest, and king. I, Lord, my life, my will, my end, I serve the praise I bring. Jesus, my shepherd, Savior, friend, my prophet, priest, and king. My Lord, my life, my will, my end, I serve the praise I bring. Hallelujah. The two words from Scripture that I want us to reflect on, meditate on, and have assurances of God's grace from is but God. But God.
We have a nation in mourning. What we anticipate is a demand for answers. Abiding questions may include, why is this happening? Why did this happen? Why now? Why them? What should we do? What should we know? What are the lessons? How should we learn the lessons? How should we apply them? This is definitely not a time for distasteful gloating over the misfortune, for postulation. This is not a time for apportioning blame. It is a time for sober reflection, of paying attention to detail and to facts. A time for ensuring that mishaps are avoided going forward. It is a time for considering if the unhelpful barriers we consciously continue to build and maintain, which persistently divide us as a people, is worth the effort. It is a time for wishing our colleagues who have perished in the line of duty peaceful rest.
حسين مني أنا من حسيني حسين مني أنا من حسيني حسين مني أنا من حسيني يا بأبي من اسمه شبير النور هذا الاسم والسرور في ذكره ينتشر العبير يشفع للذي له يخدم حبه بيقيني حسين مني أنا من حسيني حسين مني أنا من حسيني حسين مني أنا من حسيني حسين مصباح من الهداة سفينة تمضي إلى النجاة ای چشمت آشیان کهکشانها عطر زیارتت بهشت جانها تو حجتی و نبض کائناتی چراغ عشق و کشتی نجاتی ذکره فی کتابنا المبین حسین منی أنا من تو حجتی و نبض کائناتی چراغ عشق و کشتی نجاتی ذکره فی کتابنا المبین حسین منی أنا من حسین
and bibi na house here. To me be a free soro, a free form, a baba shed and payum. Ama sasem we see na nanom, se free bonkum, se free nifa. Baby be a free biananam ya sram say, Mumma be CBU. Na yan shra no crack, one more kunu and mawu. Enina Momo my chitre, a dance man quaso, a santaman quaso, Nanamon quaso, Mumma be CBU. Sir. When you publish any, what has any then and more pan home to marry again.
Allah, we ask you to grant rahmah and mercy to all those who have gone away, who have passed away, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, make their graves gardens from the gardens of paradise.
I spoke about the 2024 transfer of ammunition from the Ghana Armed Forces to the then National Security without due consultation and authorization, which the present National Security Coordinator is seeing to that investigation. Just when I thought that was being addressed, we have uncovered another one. And in that case, theft of ammunition. And that was even before the 2024 transfer of ammunition from the Ghana Armed Forces to the National Security. I'm bringing these issues out there for us to know that the ammunition found in the hands of civilians may not just have come from the ingenuity of those civilians.
President Mahama be failing. Even Dr. Bawumia on wishes some President Mahama failing. I don't call in a core context. Because a year, and a be a Yamian and Dominic Chinebi, on also party bar, also back to us, say, I'm for and a channel to us. Nanny Patiman will need beat him shot a bomb pie, said. He wishes said because Kobeniano and Penintia said. Natiana will do what Ubenya. I don't know, saying I'm a permanent fears. I would have a far brandy yaba. Why, Jatus will be 2 my name. One on a tetty, what David, one on a sign. But no by no trust, son. Buanon and a chianchia. Oh, you won't toy or my moon. Oh, and if I call national duty, not churches were fredo. No, was slow out, I didn't. Was a young choir, mammy. Namen call her dear Juma Naminya. Nami, you are my son by your national duty, no fufro, I won't cry. Would you check Juma? Anybody say yes, Yamemano? The best red do. The best red do. The best red do. What's sorry you come to a gentleman? What kind of nado? Some penny woman, what kind you like of four? I want the woman in chow, I want the woman in chow, that the woman cause or contact a quita woman. About 4 woman lanes or more. Gordon Brown, when you know, Madame for Omona call and no money ye. I want it. Matoga fed the union chat. My Santi Hilling chat. Because somebody for you who call a nipa frana broso. I say, offer.
Nasa nipa deseni we mushen betumi de nakobo babia masa aturenchem ni ayamchishi sami besi. Na obegina social media. Utumi hwe Nyankopon ni mpaka sasem we. But ye me ya wo mu ne say, wo mo yesa ne ma no. Emrante wa ne mabawa na agegina mu pa. Ne me ya ne ema no. Yerim say ma wa badai. Na so ema na say social media before the election. Atamjidie bi anu oye bia no. Dodo na ye ma. Ana na di presidential candidates na atem. And some of the many bianwa bomb a candidafa and men man on a candidates are who do hono. Between the baby them say, ah, a go bio said then you nipa be 12 or more than that. And now, woman yana, one more screenshot in a downer. Where can I, and I was like, no, this is not Ghana. I said, I see, I wouldn't want to mention the name. I see me no okoye anka ye pa. I see me see anka so okọ. Sa kwasi ampani and I was asking say, so nipa na obo ni din. Sa nipa na mo ka so mo na ekoye mo anka. Di pa na mo de aye mo.
When like a river, attendeth my way. When sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever, my Lord, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. Though Satan should buffet, though trials should come, when peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever, my Lord, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. Though Satan should buffet, though trials should come.
I'm here to stand with Ghana on this national tragedy that happened. You know, we're all deeply touched by the loss of illustrious sons of Ghana and also key ministers of defense and environment. We are working closely with Ghana, as you know, on issues of regional peace and security. And we felt this is a great loss, not only to Ghana, but to the entire West African region. So we pray for the repose of their souls and also for God Almighty to give the families of the bereaved the fortitude to bear this irreparable loss.
It's a very big loss. Murtala and Honorable Omane were such great minds. I mean, people you want to have on your network to engage in an intellectual discussion in the interest of the nation. And so losing such gallant men, very smart brains, few people do what they do, it's a very great loss, and it's something that we cannot understand, but it's in the hands of God, and so we give all to God.
I think we're mentioning mostly the two ministers because they are hard politicians who engage with us on the daily basis. I think that's what makes them more friendly with people, but we cannot also overlook the loss of the others that they were with. I mean, they contribute in different ways without necessarily personally interacting with us. But what I can say is it was a painful loss, but may their souls rest in peace.
When reports come up after the investigations and their recommendations, we are praying that the government would work it through to the latter so that these incidents can be prevented and forestalled. These are indirect messages being sent across with regards to our transport system, with regards to the state of our roads, with regards to even the impact of illegal mining in the country. It will cause the government to do the right thing by the people. Right.
When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my Lord thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. When peace.
All right, and you're welcome to the program. It's Good Morning Ghana, and good morning to you. Today is the 11th of August 2025, and we're grateful to the Almighty. And like I always say, by the directive principles of state policy, we have a responsibility in a nation to build and always make sure you have, or you take a turn, you take the opportunity to help lift this nation from one standard to the other. Welcome to the program. We will go through the headlines of the papers, and then later we'll get into issues of the day. And without any particular order, let's start off with the Daily Graphic. And says helicopter crash, Murtala Limuna laid to rest. Forensic results for 6 others received. Malcolm devotes 25 million Ghana cedis to CSR. Appoints Dr. Awal as communications consultant. KNUST triumphs in graphic business tertiary business quiz. Let's honor foreign heroes. Assemblies of God, Ghana. Nation observes solemn nights of reflection for helicopter crash victims. The Ghanaian Times, Murtala Mohammed Muniru Limuna remains laid to rest at military cemetery in Accra. Nation in pensive mood as thousands grieve victims of helicopter crash. Sierra Leonean president touches down to commensurate with Ghana. Thank you very much for that gesture. The Inside newspaper, Thomas Sankara's revolution rises again. I am an accomplished business executive with unblemished reputation. Angela lists rebuffs, criticisms. Road accidents, GMA says rising cases in public health emergency. We will not disarm unless independent Palestinian state is established. Hamas tells U.S. envoy Witkoff. The global economic benefit from the genocide of Palestinians. The Informer. Honoring foreign heroes, Bawumia pledges NPP's participation as Mahama calls for patriotism. Suspension of Nkwanta SHS headmaster GS must rethink its priorities. Helicopter crash, minority urges unity support for military. Stop Galamsey to honor foreign heroes. Dr. Tony Adu to Mahama. Alleged romance scam. FBI gets stuff on criminals worldwide as it naps 3 Ghanaians and mounts hot chase for another. I'm not sure if the radar is on Ghana now, because it looks like this romance scam, they're dealing with Ghanaians in recent days. Anyway, the Ghanaian publisher, Nation in Grief, Otabel's heartfelt prayer for victims. Let's honor their memories, Mahama. And it comes to the 8 pictures of the foreign heroes. Baumia's act mirrors Atamil's peaceful style. Helicopter crash and mosquito wept. The custodian, Ghana bids farewell to Murtala Muniru. Ghanaians hail Asunje Hene Baumia as he consoles Mahama over chopper crash tragedy. Just One Boss pays tribute to helicopter crash victims. NAPO urges support for bereaved families of rotorcraft victims. Stop Galamsey to honor helicopter crash victims. Tony Edu to Mahama. Helicopter crash, it will take a long while to forget or heal these scars. Chief of Staff. May God grant Murtala Mohammed Alhaji Muniru Paradise Mahama. And it comes with the pictures of the final burial of the two amongst the 8. Economy Times, financial markets remain stable despite Ghana's national tragedy. GRA NIA standoff over debt claims. Maritime stakeholders fears severe impact on cargo clearance. And I find this very shocking. How GRA, NRA are not able to, easily settle the impasse of whether or not GRA is owning NRA. And it's like I don't know, it's an accusation and rejection of accusation. And we don't know who is lying or who is telling truth. And it's difficult to even get to the bottom of it. How? And we're putting a lot of, pressure on the economy because it's affecting importers and exporters directly on the economy. So I think this should be done as soon as possible. We should settle this impasse. BOG records 50% dip in remittances. Value as cedi appreciates. In the Business and Financial Times, Mumwadu Rural Bank, or is Mumwadu, which is which? Posts remarkable growth in all indicators, records 215% growth in profit before tax. Shareholder gets 15% returns on current 0.30 pesos Ghana cedi share price. Economic recovery holds, but risks linger without deeper reform. Cedi checks double on digital lending boom. And in the news, we also have government's sound policies and actions to propel private sector growth, Julius Debra. And then economy poised to leverage IATF 2025 to exert trade dominance. Okay, that's it for the headlines for the newspapers. We'll take a break, and then when we come back, we'll start speaking with the guests.
Sometimes the unexpected happens and the hero falls down in his own story. But he needs not stay down for long. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance is your trusted health partner. Whether an individual building a business, with Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern. For the best health insurance solutions for corporate institutions, groups and associations, families and individuals, choose Cosmopolitan Health Insurance from our over 700 accredited health service providers nationwide. Call us on 0302 540 668 or 0501 678 547 for all your health insurance solutions. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern.
here at Mycom JA Limited to show you the Promethean Active Panel, the ultimate tool for corporate institutions, hospitals, schools, and your home. With its crystal clear 4K display and an unbreakable screen with an ultra responsive touch technology. This isn't just a screen, it's a game changer. For corporate institutions and in schools, this active panel can be used for Zoom meetings and PowerPoint presentation. And your homes are not left behind. You can use it to watch all your favorite programs by just connecting to a Fire Stick, and you can get access to channels like Netflix and Amazon, and voila, you are in there. At Mycom JA Limited, we provide you with the best quality products from the United States of America with 1-year warranty. You can get an active panel at a discounted price of 18,000 Ghana cedi only, and it comes with a Fire Stick, a webcam, and a micro system. You can locate us at Chado Container behind the Trade Fair. Visit Mycom JA Limited today and elevate your tech.
I'm a brand manager. Of course, I accept only quality and affordable printed souvenirs for my promotional campaigns.
I'm the head of academic affairs of a very important institution in Ghana. Of course, we only deal with quality, reliable printing companies for our institution's printing materials. I'm talking about appointed time printing.
Appointed Time Printings. We take pride in our extensive print scope that transform your ideas into captivating visual masterpieces. We delve into the core objectives and vision of each print project. Precision printing is at the heart of our printing process as we meet your tight deadlines. Our rigorous inspection, color verification, and overall printing excellence are assured. 20 years of printing excellence. It's always a pleasure working with you to create a vibrant, dazzling printing experience that gives you a masterpiece. Appointed Time Printing, your world of quality and affordable printing.
What iPhone, Papa? You were home.
So, open iPhone's accessories, Papa, dear. Mention baby.
Ba EBA phones and accessories.
Sebani EBA, yet on iPhones any home accessories. iPhone 50 XL cost 16 Pro Max. Accessories ye wa charger, AirPods, any iPhone home akadia nina. Nyanuma ye ni sikapudu e de beto iPhone. Say ya nkrankre, boja, and na say abanye juma your phone nina. For 40% beji iPhone biya ope. Na ni aka no, wo de bosome miensa. Etua ne nkakra. E kwanya obefa so de achie ni. Dial *713*5571#. Oba, sheno so se wo de wo Ghana card. Eni nia e chere se wo ye adwuma. Hwehwe ye chere kwan e wo Circle Mall. Eni tiptoe lane ye ni modern photos enchen ho a. Afei so, se wo ba American Mall, ye ni Odo Rice eni di nhwani. Kuma senso ye wo Edum Central Prisons roundabout Ejekum Abonsan ni mu. Freyen e wo numbers na ebu screen ni so no. EBA phones, no hassle cra.
Brush your teeth. Brush 2 times a day. Brush with Kel-Kit.
Hello, my friends. My name is Kel-Kit toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky whiter, chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kel-Kit. Happy smile.
MGL Logistics and Supply is your trusted partner, providing seamless solutions for all your procurement needs. From sourcing products to managing imports and exports, we ensure smooth and efficient transactions every step of the way. Whether you require goods from across the globe or need assistance in exporting your products to international markets, we got you covered. General trading is at the heart of our expertise. We specialize in a wide range of products, catering to various industries and markets. As a trusted dealership in building materials, we provide high-quality products that meet the demands of our construction projects. Additionally, we act as manufacturers' representatives, connecting producers with distributors. Our expertise in logistics is the backbone of our operations. We plan and execute transportation and delivery of goods, ensuring they reach their destination on time and in optimal condition. MGO Logistics and Supply, guaranteed.
When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever, my Lord, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul.
All right, indeed, it is well with our souls, and we hope that the departed souls will have a resting place in the Lord. Welcome to the program once again. I have my guests who have joined me already in the studio. All right, let me welcome my friend I haven't seen in a very long time. That's because she was, out doing something for herself to, add value, of course, add value. So Antoinette Chibok-Darko is here with us. She's a Deputy General Secretary for the NPP, and she's joined us in the studio. Very welcome. It's glad to see you. Yesterday, when you were mentioned that you were around, I was so happy because I didn't know you were around. I hadn't seen you, and I knew you were out. So yes, so very welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, very welcome.
It's good to be back here.
Good to have you. Good to have you. How was school? How's everything?
Everything is fine. School was good. Amazing fellowship program. But it's also good to be back because I still have my full-time job at UG. Yes.
We have a nation to build.
Yes, we do. Very much so.
All right. Also, the Honourable Member of Parliament for Salaga South constituency is in the person of Surira Mohammed Ibrahima. Sometimes I'm actually Ibrahima. I'm tempted to call her Her Excellency or something like that. Am I right?
No.
It's the way she gazes. I know you're not in a very good mood, but very welcome. Very welcome. It's good that we have life. It's good we have life. But welcome. So I think since the incident, and just in case you're in Ghana but you don't know, or you're out of Ghana, you don't know what has happened to the nation, we are in a very pensive mood and grieving as a nation, and that's because we've lost 8 gallant men as leaders of this country, all occupying very sensitive positions. When the accident or the crash happened, and then it was confirmed that we lost them, I said to myself, we're naked. That was the immediate thing that, I said to myself, we're naked. Because if you look at the positions these men occupy, and for a second, life was snatched out of them, it meant that immediately we had to do something quickly to sip the holes that had been created or close the gaps that's been opened. The chains were broken, and we had to find a way to fix them back so that the country will be protected once again. But obviously, the president has also taken immediate action by putting in other ministers, substantive ministers of states, to be caretakers of the 2 ministers who we had lost their ministries. And then also, obviously, the other offices, as an NDC office, the National Security Office, I'm sure the officers are taking charge and making sure that everything is done rightly. So let me start off from Parliament. Honorable Zura, you know, when it happened, we haven't really had the women take their turns, because it happened in the middle of the week, I think last week. So we're glad to be here. But my concern the whole time has been about the number of widows we have, you know, on our hands now as a nation. And we know how widows can be quite fragile, you know, to take care of. And I was wondering what we can do to make them feel stronger, you know, quickly. I know people die. A lot of people are passing comments that people die all the time, but we know that this, even you who are passing such comments, you know that this is not ordinary. And that's why we are so hurt by how it happened. So maybe you take us through how Parliament has taken this whole disaster or tragedy and what we're doing going forward, especially in the case of the widows left behind.
Yeah, thank you very much, Annie. And good morning to all your viewers. Before I proceed to share thoughts on your query, I will want to first of all pray for the souls of the 8 gallant compatriots who we lost in the most gruesome way last Wednesday. The Holy Quran teaches us that death is predetermined by Allah, and no soul dies except by Allah's leave. There are various verses in the Quran that speak about death. And what these verses seek to do is to get us to accept the inevitability of death. Quran chapter 6 verse 2 says, "It is Allah who gives life and death, and He is the one who has the power over all things." Similarly, in verse 29, Quran 29 verse 57, Allah says, "Every soul will taste death. Then upon me you shall return." So as Muslims, we are enjoined at the announcement of death to share the Quran's view about death in order to make it more acceptable to all of us. None of us is going to be here forever. The day will come, and that day has already been predetermined by Allah. And so we say, "Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un." That indeed we came from Allah, and to Him we shall return. To the 8 gallant compatriots, they lived their life as determined by Allah. No one has the power to take a life unless Allah wills. So we accept the reality of our being, that we are only here in transition. Indeed, the Holy Quran goes further to tell us that death is a gateway to the afterlife. And so when death comes, it becomes a transition between the material realm and the unknown world. So we are all here temporary. The transition period comes when death occurs, where we go back to meet our Maker. I want to use this opportunity to pray for the souls of the 8 compatriots and to wish that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will receive them at the highest level of Jannah. Yesterday, His Excellency the President led all of us at the funeral and burial ceremony of 2 of the departed souls who are Muslims. And Islamic customs and traditions dictates that we don't keep a body around for too long. Burial should be organized as quickly as possible when a person passes. And so yesterday, the first 2 who are Muslims were laid to rest at the military cemetery. And we saw Ghanaians in pain. We saw bereaved Ghanaians. We saw Ghanaians in anguish. We are hoping that the life that these 2 led will be the compensation that they will pay with Allah. Because the Holy Quran teaches us it's only upon death that you account for the life that Almighty Allah gave you. We are praying for their souls. And I want to recite the Qul Wallahu for their souls before I can proceed on this program. Qul Wallahu Ahad, Allahu Samad, Lam Yalid wa Lam Yulad, wa Lam Yakul Lahu Kufuwan Ahad. Amen. May their souls rest in perfect peace. Annie, this country has suffered a tragedy. And we cannot at this time even begin to go into the details of what happened and what didn't happen. The fact remains that these gallant compatriots have left behind families. They've left behind wives, they've left behind mothers, fathers, and children. They've left behind friends and loved ones. And all these people need to be reminded in our daily prayers. If you check the profile of the 8, arguably we can say that they are all young people. And so naturally they have young families. They have young wives and young children. We saw their wives, some of them. We saw some of the children. You asked a very legitimate question. This country is suddenly saddled with 8 widows. What are we going to do to ensure that these widows feel the love that the country has for them? That these widows don't feel that their husbands sacrificed for nothing. We have a duty to the family. We have a duty to the widows. We have a duty to the children. The Women Caucus in Parliament will have a meeting and devise a roadmap towards visiting. We've already joined the larger parliamentary caucus to visit almost all the homes. But we will have to, as women, make a distinction and visit these widows and console them, find out what the situation presents, especially for the children. At the heart of widowhood is taking care of the children who have been left behind. Most homes, the men still remain the breadwinners. We need to ensure that the children of our gallant compatriots do not suffer because their fathers chose to sacrifice for this country. The Women Caucus might have to invoke a lot of stakeholders to bring them on board to look at practically what we can do to support the widows. We will not want to reduce this very tragic moment to rhetoric, but we have to act. And if you asked me, two of the compatriots that I was very close to, Honorable Murtala Mohammed and Honorable Alhaji Limona, were people who dealt with issues practically. Honorable Murtala will not engage in so much talk about nothing. He liked to act. And so every time you saw him, every time you encountered him, including the last time I sat with him on 29 July, he was giving me advice, practical advice on how to carry on and continue my career as a politician. I didn't know that he was just 1 week away from passing. But when I look back to the events of that day, it was as if there was a premonition, and Honorable Murtala thought that he needed to sit with me and have a conversation. We ate kinke together and we spoke a lot. The Honorable Chief Limuna, he said to me, Hajia, you are the only female candidate of our party in the whole of the Savannah region. We have a duty to ensure that you return to Parliament. And that was exactly what he did. He didn't talk too much. He ensured that anything that he could provide for me in terms of resources to make the journey to the next phase of my political life, he did. Including the last time I spoke with him, 30th July. He had just been appointed as Deputy National Security Coordinator in charge of human security. I had done a letter earlier on to the National Security requesting for assistance in my constituency because the whole stretch of the Volta Lake in my constituency, there are 46 communities there without schools nor clinics. And I thought that was a little bit odd. So I wrote to National Security requesting assistance for schools and clinics, these communities. And then Alhaji was announced as Deputy National Security Coordinator in charge of human security. Now, I plan to go and visit him and to lay my issues before him. Even before I could do that, I was in my office with my RA and I stepped out. When I came back, he said, Alhaji was calling you. So, Chief Limuna. I said, really? I picked the phone and returned the call. And he has this big laugh, you know, that just makes you feel. And he burst out laughing. I said, Hajia, here too. I said, Chief, I'm coming to the office. I just asked for files. And when they brought the file, the first letter was your letter. And I said, yes, you know my constituency even better than I do. My people really need help. And he said, Hajia, don't worry. Next week, I will send a team to recce the area and then we can take it on from there. I thanked him and still promised to visit him in his office. That was the promise that never came. But Annie, you know what? Alhaji worked on my request because on Friday, I got a call from National Security. A gentleman called me from National Security. The crash happened on Wednesday. We were still grieving. We were mourning. We were trying to find answers. Then I get a call, a random phone call. I answered, this is from National Security, mentioned his name, which I wouldn't say on air. And he said, you brought in a request when I said yes. He said, we want to find out this bridge, is it bridge for cars or for pedestrians? And I said, no, it's a pedestrian bridge. He said, okay. And the schools, okay, we'll put it together, we'll contact you, and we'll send it in. So clearly that tells me that he might either have minuted on my request or acted on it in a way. This is Alhaji Limona. So at this time, I think as women, we should come together and demonstrate pragmatism towards supporting the widows and children. We have a duty, and once we get together, we'll fashion out what exactly to do. Maybe because these two have been buried already, we can start with them, because the other funerals are yet to come on. And sometimes you want to allow space for the funeral to be held before you can look at what you do in terms of intervention and welfare issues. But I'm sure that the Honorable Komfodo Uganza, who is the leader of the Women Caucus in Parliament, is going to, another very proactive leader, is going to get us together to look at what we can do. I also know that as individuals, we had our own personal relationships with these compatriots. And so at the personal level, we will also ensure. I visited the widow of Honorable Murtala yesterday, and her parents had journeyed all the way from Guinea for the burial. We had a conversation. They're moving today to Tamale for the third day Adua. And so after that, we will look at, I assured her that yesterday was not going to be the last time she was going to see me. So whatever I can do at the individual level to extend love, support and assistance to her. They will miss Honorable Murtala. There's no doubt about that. There's nothing we can do about that. But provide them a little bit of comfort, especially the children. They have a future. And that future we must protect. We must ensure that in spite of what has happened, they travel through life's journey and harvest their full potential as individuals. And I am happy and willing to join any group to support this widow and the children. The funerals and the thoughts about them, so far, everybody who has testified, especially about these two individuals, because their burial was imminent, I've only said good things about them. It couldn't be only my experience. Clearly, that is who they are. Murtala had so much energy. He had this natural ability of bringing warmth anywhere he found himself. Anytime he entered the chamber. I remember in the 8th Parliament, when we sat on the other side, he would always walk past where I sat to his seat. And he never ceased, even if it was just for a second, to say, Hajia, how are you? So, Honorable, and he will crack jokes. If there is any feeling of unhappiness, he will find out. Hajia, what's going on today? Today you are rather quiet in the chamber. You know, he sort of like had everybody on his radar and was able to connect with people. For the 5 years that we've been in Parliament together, I haven't come across anyone expressing displeasure or anything about him or his conduct. Everybody wants to listen to Honorable Murtala debate on the floor of Parliament. And for those of us who are Muslims, I also felt very proud. He's a very, very learned person in the Islamic religion. He knows the relevant Quranic verses and the sunnahs of the Prophet. And he always brought them to bear on his debates on the floor. Thus moving all of us from the point of us to the point of religiosity, where clearly you will see that it's not so much about A or B, but it's so much about what the right thing is, including
He always knew how to bring religion into everyday activities.
Yeah.
He never, disassociated the two.
Exactly.
He merged his belief and his practice as a man. And it was interesting how he always
At
did
his
that.
13, for Minister for Environment, he quoted a hadith, and it was my first time as a Muslim. And he said the environment, even the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam preached that even in times of war, don't cut the tree, don't abuse the environment. So this is someone who was rounded in terms of his academic Western education and his religious education. And when I heard him say that, I said, wow, this is what it means. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told his ummah, even in the time of war, don't cut down the tree. What more do we need to tell us to cherish the environment and to protect the environment? And that is the ministry where he ended. So you listen to people he worked with even in this short time at the ministry, and they tell you how he was eager to move things. As I said, he doesn't talk much, just to get things done. So, Annie, we've lost them. But Allah Almighty knows why he gave them only this short, as you and I will say. We say it's short, but I'm sure in the eyes of Allah, that's how much he gave them. May their souls rest in peace. May Allah have mercy on their souls. And may Allah give them the highest point in Jannah. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Let me, will you go now, or you want me to take a break and come back?
Oh, I can.
You can go now. Okay, let's start.
Okay. Thank you very much, Annie, and good morning once again. First, I just want to say my deepest condolences to His Excellency the President and to the Vice President. She's the first woman Vice President. I haven't had the chance to say congratulations because I haven't been on air. We're very, very happy for her. Of course, to Cabinet, to the NDC, you've lost very, very gallant leaders of your party. Being a very deep party person myself, Deputy General Secretary, this is definitely a blow to the party, and you have our heartfelt and sincerest condolences. I also want to say sorry, deep sorry to the spouse, the wives of our gallant men who have passed on, the children, the parents. And one of the things that I always say is, in all our local languages, we don't have a term, even in English, we don't have a term for a parent who loses a child. It's like, it's something that you don't expect, and the normal order of life is that you have orphans because orphans will lose their parents. Yeah. You have widows and you have widower because that's what happens. Yeah. But you don't have a word for a parent who loses a child because that is not meant to happen. So seeing Honorable Amani Boame's mother, I wept. I said, no, this is not how we want to live. And he's an only child, yes, that was it. My parents even commented and said, he's an only child. I said, yes, my heart is breaking, an only child, So for the parents who have lost I mean, both biological and I'm sure they had adopted parents, people that they were looking after. Deepest condolences. I'm very Christian. May our Heavenly Father comfort you and find ways of replacing this love and this deep pain that you would have in your heart. I think it's not just about the fact that 8 individuals have passed on, but the fact that they were not people who were ill, they weren't sick. There were people who woke up in the morning and said they were going to work and they never came back. It does happen, it happens sometimes. But the circumstances leading to them, all 8 of them were on a mission. What they were going to do was not even realized or eventualized. You know, 2 very key important figures in charge of 2 ministries that are very, very strategic and important in dealing with the menace of illegal mining all go at the same time. And I think that is what we are deeply mourning, you know, the circumstances and everything surrounding it. So our sincerest condolences, and we sincerely tell the families that God in his own wisdom and in his own grace would give you that strength that you need to weather these storms and go through it. As Honorable Hajia spoke about Honorable Mutala, I didn't know him personally, seen him on TV, listened to him. But I knew Honorable Omane Boama. I knew him because he was a parishioner. He was also a very deeply religious person. Sometimes I'll even see him at the Christ the King Grotto praying, you know. So I think wherever they are, their souls would find eternal rest. And that for all the other individuals who perished. And I just want to make 3 comments on what happened on Wednesday. I'm very happy that at once the nation came together. So flags were half-mast, 3 days of mourning declared, a night of reflections and memorial, very, very appropriate. We need to understand how with such circumstances, it has to be Ghana first and everything else aside. So I was very happy that we took it together. For those of us who couldn't attend physically, we stayed at home and we watched and we mourned and said, this is how we need to all remember that these individuals who have sacrificed their life, you know, that is what they have done. They were on a mission and they perished in the process. So it is a tragedy for all of us. But it also raised questions. Is it faith? Is it destiny? You heard about the stories about others who were supposed to go and didn't go and etc. And I kept telling people, stop messing up with these stories and, you know, saying that someone has exchanged their lives. No. If we have faith and we believe that everyone's time would come, then this is a moment when we pray that they rest in peace and we pray for those that they have left behind. And then stop the concentration on the mixed stories about who didn't go and who didn't go. But I want to make these observations about, I mean, we all watched a lot on social media, on the news and everything. My first observation, and permit me just, if there's time, we still have to work hard at how we deal with our immediate response to situations. When the incident happened, we realized that the first responders, or the people who went to the site first, were volunteers, more or less, farmers, etc.
I'm very interested in this area.
Okay.
We're going to talk about it, okay. But let me take a break.
Good.
When I come back, because there are, you know, several issues that has arisen around this matter. There's the issue of the religious matters. There's the issue of the response of emergencies. You know, there's the issue of, I think, comments. And some of you are making comments on social media that are treasonous. Great. Just in case you do not know, if the security comes after you, please don't read politics into it, because we don't have to be a nation to get there, where you can just openly wish for the death of somebody. If the person coincidentally passes, you can be blamed. So let's be careful with some of these comments we're making. I think it's just improper. Well, we'll get into it, Annie. I'll take a breather. When we come back, I'm sure we'll have the opportunity to speak with Elvis Afriyie Ankrah, who has been, selected to lead, I think, the religious team at the presidency to be coordinating all these spiritual. I don't know, Honorable Zura, do you prophesy?
Oh, no.
You don't prophesy at all.
Yeah, no.
But you have, what's it called? Do you get premonitions? I don't know, things like, do you see things?
No. We, in Islam, the religion of Islam actually dictates one's life from birth to death. Everything is accounted for in the Holy Quran and the Hadiths. How a child is named, the processes, how to bring up your child, it's all dictated in the Quran, all the way to the end. Marriage, everything, the rituals are clear in the Quran, all the way to death. And that's why I said there are several verses in the Quran about death.
Okay.
And the bottom line, if you read all the verses, there is one thread, and that is that death is the will of Allah. Okay. So in Islam, we don't blame anybody. We don't hold anybody responsible for a death. Allah gave life, and Allah has taken back life.
Oh, okay.
So we don't have predictions. But I'll tell you a story. You realize that the third pillar of Islam is almsgiving. Give sadaqah.
Yes. You know, Mutala actually taught me that right here on the set.
Right, okay.
Yes.
And the essence of sadaqah is, one, to help a vulnerable person, and second, to forestall calamities that you might not be aware of.
Oh.
And so there is this story about the Holy Prophet. He was sitting with his team of disciples, and then a woman came walking by to the river to fetch water. So when the woman walked past, the prophet said to his, this woman will not return. She will remain at the riverside, unfortunately. And so the woman walked and went, and then as they sat down with the prophet, they saw the woman coming back with water. And so, the prophet spoke, and what he said hasn't come true. So what's the meaning? You can't question the prophet. So everybody, and the prophet said, no, there must be a reason for the woman to return alive. So when she got there, they stopped her and they asked her, what did you find when you got to the riverside? She said, there was nothing. There was just an old man hungry, and so I had some, masa. I'm sure you know masa. We eat it a lot with porridge. I had masa in the basin, and I gave it to him. And the prophet said that's what saved the woman's life. Almsgiving. So they go together to the riverbank, and there is this huge python. And the python had the masa.
The masa in its mouth.
And so they locked the fangs, and the python could not bite the woman. So we are encouraged as Muslims to give alms. It can forestall calamities, it can save lives, but it will only save life because the time is not yet.
Wow.
And I wanted to also mention that, the outpouring of messages, international, national, individuals, etc. I think it is so phenomenal. It's awesome. And I really hope that we can even collect all of them, into some kind of, book of messages, memoirs. Yes. It's so, some of the messages are so touching. Those that are, personal, relate to it at once. I really hope we can have something like that, because sometimes we talk about it when it's happened, and then in a few months' time, it's gone. But what about putting some of these out as memoirs? This is what would make the families know that the memories of their loved ones continues to live.
That's interesting. I haven't thought of that, but Honorable Zora, I'm sure it can be considered. Yeah, because all the messages, all institutions are bringing messages.
So many of them.
International
and if you are not careful, it will all just come and then go
then
away.
we forget about them.
If we put it all together as
condolences,
exactly, all put it together. Yes, as some memoirs. It's an honor, for their memory.
Apart from serving as memoirs, it can also serve as a guide. We want to know when Honorable Murtala passed, when Honorable Mulimuna, what was said about them, what life did they live. We can emulate.
Today when we talk about men we didn't meet or leaders we didn't meet, and there's always the back and forth of, this is not true, this was true, this is not true. That's because some of these were not documented.
We didn't have internet at that time.
Exactly, so we struggle with the truth. We will take a quick breather. When we come back, we'll continue with the analyzing all that we're going through as a nation. We'll be back shortly.
Like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever, my Lord, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul.
Are you a headmaster, headmistress, parent, teacher, or an educator looking for high-quality textbooks for preschool, primary, and junior high school students? Look no further than Advocate Publishing Company. Advocate Publishing Company is a leading publisher of educational materials in Ghana that publishes very engaging, interactive, and comprehensive textbooks that meet the needs of students, teachers, and parents. Our textbooks are thoroughly published to make learning fun and easy. They are also designed to stimulate critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity in students. Make Advocate Publishing your preferred choice for all your educational needs. Explore our range of textbooks and educational resources. Visit us at the old GNTC yard near Kingsway, Accra. You can contact us on 0503 786 776 or 02408 06354, also 0531 600 360, and connect with us on Instagram, X, and Facebook at Advo Publishing. Don't settle for less. Choose the best. Advocate Publishing Company, empowering young minds one textbook at a time. Thinking publishing, think Advocate Publishing.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson.
Me didn't tum. Miss your friend Kalika, just call me cockroach. Now miss your friend me once now.
Hey, is that you? Improve car. Yeah.
Captain Mosquito, double the action. Me did it, sasso spray. Miss your friend is sasso quell. Yeah, go to my sasso you.
Come on, Tom Preko.
Buy affordable service plots and lands from estate masters. Currently selling our next cottage, located at the newly proposed airport city, with a starting price of 25,000 Ghana cedis. We also have Palm Hills, located at Panfukuro in the Gomwa East District, also with a starting price of 15,000 Ghana cedis. Available also is Coastal Park in Akleku, which is a 15-minute drive from the Ningo Senior High School, having a starting price of 55,000 Ghana cedis. You will receive a free site plan with indenture once you successfully purchase a land from us. For any enquiries, contact the numbers provided. Estate Masters, your most preferred estate partner.
A home is more than just walls and a roof. It's the warmth of family, the assurance of security, and the joy of shared moments. Whether you're returning from abroad or seeking a new beginning, Rehoboth Havens Ayumensa is where your journey truly begins. Nestled beneath the tranquil Ebri Mountains, this gated community offers the perfect blend of modern living and natural beauty. Our 2, 3 and 4 bedroom homes are designed for family living with spacious interiors, elegant finishes, and all the comforts that make life better. From cozy living rooms for bonding, to modern kitchens for culinary creativity, and private gardens for peaceful reflection, every space is thoughtfully crafted. At Rehoboth Havens, your children play safely, your family grows joyfully, and your memories are built on a foundation of care and community. Starting from 675,000 Ghana cedis with flexible installment plans, your dream home is within reach because everyone deserves a place to truly call home. Rehoboth Havens, where futures are built and dreams come to life. Call us on 0553 751933 or 0206 823524 to secure your future today. Rehoboth Social Housing, your housing dream becomes reality.
Wezalo Amarab. Yes.
Ghana Tourism Authority welcomes you to the 2025 African Marketing and Technology Conference.
From digital storytelling to destination marketing, welcome to Ghana, the gateway to Africa.
Come here and build high-valued network. And of course, you build this network with great industry leaders.
We can't wait to host you. From our immersive cultural experiences to the plethora of our sun, our beaches, our gastronomy. Woo!
We are asking all of you to come network at this beautiful event that will actually teach you the real value of marketing to tourism.
Yes, the Akwaaba Night. Come and experience our rich heritage. Come and dance to the beat and rhythm of our music and culture. This is Ghana Tourism Authority.
Like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever, my Lord, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. Though Satan should buffet, though
Welcome back to the program. It's still a nation in morning state, or in a morning state, and we still wish our gallant men a resting place. May Allah grant us that. I'm still in the studio with Honorable Zura Mohammed Ibrahim, and also she's Member of Parliament for Salaga South constituency, and also Dr. Antoinette Chibukdako is Deputy General Secretary for the NPP as well, and she's still here with us. Let me just remind you that the Christian Council has also joined in the signing of the condolence book at the party office, and it was actually led by the chairman of the Christian Council, who also doubles as the EP Church, Right Reverend Dr. Lieutenant Colonel Blaise Divine Agbeko, retired. He's the chairman of the Christian Council and the moderator of the General Assembly of the Evangelical Presbyterian Church, Ghana. And yesterday he signed a book of condolence. He was received by Officer Free Ankra, Godwin Akogan, and Deputy Communications. He's a Deputy Communications Officer for the party, and Madam Vida, Director of Welfare as well. Elvis Free Ankra, I told you earlier, has been appointed as Executive Director for Prayer and Thanksgiving, and he's also been given a task. There's so much of prophecies making rounds, and I actually spoke with him personally yesterday, and I made a point that we can't pretend that we live in the spiritual world, and we can't pretend that everything is done only in the carnal. When you do that, you're being quote unquote foolish. It's never the way we live in this world. There is the spiritual and there's the physical. Most of the times, the spiritual will manifest physically after it has played out spiritually. That's why you have the opportunity sometimes to pray, to give alms, as Honorable Zura was saying, to maybe avert some of the plans of the enemy. But how this office or work being given by Free Ankara is going to happen, we will find out when we get the opportunity to speak with him. So let's give ourselves some time and then discuss the issue that has to do with our safety. Doc, you were going into that when I decided to take the break before our response to safety. Now, I have made comments either on air or off air about even, it's difficult for me to now talk about it, sacks that were used to carry the remains. Yesterday, I saw it on the wall of lawyer Eduji Tamaklo, who explained that those sacks were used because the bodies, the charred remains were hot. So the sacks were necessary at that time. And I still disagreed. In fact, I saw the post and I still disagreed. I'm sure you probably do, but we'll explain why. So let's look at the safety issues that you're talking about.
Okay. So I think that I'll take it from this point. So I made like 3 very key observations. Of course, the last one is something that is a thought-through process. But the first is, I've always been very passionate about volunteerism, and the fact that volunteers are our first-time responders whenever there's an accident. And a crash like this, you had volunteers going first of all to the side. Volunteers because they weren't charged with any responsibility or anything, but they went there first. How much education do we have as first-time responders when it comes to dealing with things that could have been evidence or very important information, especially not knowing what caused the crash? We saw a lot of people walking around at the site and etc. There was no precaution, there was nothing. At the same time, supposing that the accident itself, there had been some survivors, did we have volunteers who even had the ability or capacity to be able to even say that they could have saved their life? Would they have been able to do anything about that? So for me, it brought a lot of questions to mind that we still have not taken volunteering as a very serious aspect of running our nation. We have the fire service, and I know the fire service, the police, they all have volunteers. And I did a study about 15 years ago about community volunteers that work within these state organizations. So they have them. But how well are they linked to such accidents, such that at that point they are the ones who could be part of the first-time responders, so that if yes, there was a fire and there was no survivor, but supposing there had been the chance or opportunity to do anything and save someone, would they have been able to? So I think this is something that we need to think through. The government officials, the leaders and everyone that went on board the helicopter, did they have any training? Was there enough to at least make them capable in case there's such an incident to either save themselves or save each other? I have a Jewish
People
friend,
have raised issues about
parachutes, etc. I have a friend who always tells me, when I was doing my PhD and I was so busy learning, he said to me, Antoinette, there are two important things in life you must know how to do: to speak English and to swim. And I used to laugh at him. But supposing this helicopter had been near water, realizing what was happening, water is always the softest, landing place, because then there wouldn't have been fire.
Yes.
Would they have been able to swim? So I think some of these things bring to mind the things that we have taken for granted on a daily basis, and to ask ourselves that, can you save your life and save the life of another person? In the deep forest area, what kind of search and rescue operations do we have? We haven't been able to gather how long it took for people to even appear there. I think 15 years ago, I was working with a mining company and there was a helicopter crash. And it was about a tall tree that blurred the vision of the pilot. Later, the investigative report came out and I got to learn a lot. I wish and I pray that some of these things, even though I know that because of security reasons, they may not always be shared, but can there be some precautions that we can all take from it? Because we can only learn from each other. 15 years ago, this helicopter report was not shared with everyone. But interestingly, it was in the Dunkwa-Obuasi area. That's where that helicopter crash also occurred. But there was no death, and only the pilot and one other person were on. They were doing a survey for a mining company. So these are questions that I'm asking myself, and some observations that I hope will be taken some consideration. Again, I look at the amount of information that was shared on social media, and I find it alarming. We are abusing the use of pictures, photos, and videos on social media. I don't know how we are going to address this, because the discretionary use is just getting out of hand. Be sensitive about families. Things on the internet stay there forever. It doesn't go away. So I asked myself, so what are you going to do now? Are you going to tell people that pull down all the photos? We didn't
but
see
in this
faces
case, national security can use metadata to block
exactly. I think we have
some
to
of these information.
I
think they can.
We have to find ways of making sure that certain things, okay, even maybe after it has happened, because then you get to know the amount that is circulating. But how very, even more tragic for you to learn about the death of your loved one by a photo, on video and etc. So I think with this one, there were no identifiable faces to the unfortunate incident. But supposing there had been identifiable faces, is that what we were going to share on social media? It's a concern. We need to tell ourselves that sometimes we should be careful.
You could have been sure that you would see them on
you would
social
have seen
media.
Yes, you'd have seen it. But this one, there were no identifiable faces. So, but it was still very...
My concern that I've seen is like a trend on social media in recent times where people have died, and the practice they used to be involved in when they were alive is now sort of simulated or mimicked with the dead bodies. And you see some maybe Choba woman have passed. So in the funeral, they put her down, they put fufu and something in front of her, and she's, I don't know.
And they'll be trying to put the thing together and
paint
draw
the picture
some
to us that
analysis
she was a Choba woman.
It's
some taxi driver, they put the corpse itself
in the car.
In
they drove the car
and they are driving the car
I saw
around.
It once myself,
I've been talking about this for the past 2 months. Like, what a country. We nothing safety. We are so lost on the issues of safety. And it's as if we don't have any leader. When this happened, I was going through, I like to think about things chronologically. They said the plane left Accra, the military actually, the helicopter left at 9 a.m. And I think it was supposed to land about 12 p.m. or noon. Within about 10:30, 11, at the time the news got into our studios, I was sure that the crash had happened.
A 3-hour helicopter
from Accra to...
From Accra to...
possible.
No.
You know,
it's not possible.
And the release
the
they gave us, I wish I find the release.
For the fuel and everything.
Yeah.
So
the release they gave us,
it's short. Yeah,
I expected that for military, once they say that they lost the flight, the chopper on their radar, they should have already been out searching for the chopper. I mean, I don't know if I'm trying to follow it step by step.
You're right.
And even at the time, they were not out searching. They had just released a statement that it was lost on the radar, you know, trying to prompt us. So if we see anything, we should... I thought...
You're
what?
absolutely right. That happened. And that was shocking.
That it actually carried your minister.
Yes. And Annie, you know, you and I didn't know that they were on that trip, right? So the news started trickling in on social media, as I said, and we're not sure. I honestly didn't pay much attention to it when it started, because this social media, they just, I think it's become an industry for just mischief and sometimes misinformation. So it was not until there was a post on our caucus, MP's caucus platform, that I sat up and I said, no, this is not about social media, there's something going on. Now, following what we found, that the helicopter left the Air Force Base at 9, and I think they were expecting it to have landed between 10:30 and 11. We heard that there was a helicopter that did an emergency landing in Ejuma-Kokobin. And I mean, I think in the haze of everything that was happening, there was too much information going on. I, for example, did not connect that to this helicopter that crashed. But now I'm being told that it was the same helicopter that had to land in
emergency landing
in Ejuma-Kokobin.
Was it the same helicopter?
Yes,
apparently.
Because it actually had an emergency landing.
Apparently. I thought that there was a picture of the helicopter that did the emergency landing, a civilian one. I saw on, and you see, this is what we are talking about. Information.
The armed forces is not helping situations at all, because by now we should have had a
chronology
of events
to stop the speculation.
To stop the speculation and put some other issues into more perspective.
It's the reason why I'm struggling to accept the SAC drama.
So,
because there was no rush. They were already gone. So there was no rush. Take your time. You are military. We know you can do things perfectly. Take your time.
But there was no military presence there.
Even during the search of the remains.
The search of the remains in Karen, there was no military.
Yes, there was no military. It was
I saw the farmers. I saw more
regional
minister and the folks and the farmers and community people.
So there was no intelligence at the time.
Exactly.
You know,
so there are too many gaps
to pack.
Yeah.
You know, spread out the sacks.
Yeah.
Look for, because with the crash, I can tell that the bodies were even scattered. So spread out the sacks, look for the charred remains, put them on, you know, lay them on it, relax, wait, take your time, allow them to cool down, and pack them respectfully.
Annie.
And you pack them and you come and tell me that, oh, we packed them that way because the body was hot.
Annie, I didn't believe that it was the bodies that were being carried. My husband insisted, and I said no. These are farmers coming.
What did you think it was?
I thought the farmers were coming from their farm. So then the journalist there panned his camera to cover and now literally announced to all of us that. And I was like, how could we?
To say that now their bodies are being
How could we do this?
It was heartbreaking.
The issue you raised, I mean, lack of complete disrespect for the deceased.
Yes.
Complete disregard for the
no, but whose ingenious idea was it
sensibilities of the families
I
and
don't
friends?
know. Because like you said, we lack information now.
Yes.
The regional minister had gone there. He is a doctor. I mean, Dr. Makohini is a doctor,
he's a
medical doctor.
Yeah.
So his services are needed at the time.
Yeah.
I understand that. But when it comes to, you know, the managing of these remains, how does the military, how do they do things?
And did you see the folks who were carrying the sacks?
Yes, they were like farmers.
And they had no protective gear.
Yes, no.
Nothing.
No.
So you're exposing another set of citizens
to risk. Health risk.
Health issues.
Yes.
So you see, we need to sit down. Maybe may their souls rest in peace. But this unfortunate situation must present us with an opportunity to relook at our whole public health system, our whole safety and emergency management systems.
Search and rescue operations.
We need to, because those individuals didn't have to carry the remains
on their heads, no gloves,
no
protective
and that's why
gears.
I refused to accept that they were remains. I said no, because you don't expect anyone to do that, but it's happened. So we need to have a national conversation around these issues.
So there were no,
need to make our health.
Don't we have body bags that contain hot? Body bags
that can
even if
you withstand heat.
Yes, that can withstand heat. At least to give the person a decent movement.
But why are they body bags? Because
that's what I said.
I find it very strange being told that they were carried in those sacks because they were hot. Body bags can't carry hot.
That's you and I don't know, but the health officials should be able to tell us.
Accidents happen. It means that this is what happens. The bodies are carried. You know,
bodies are just thrown into the back of
pickups and
we need to begin to look at again.
To ask ourselves.
I mean, that's why it's always good to have leaders like you in such conversations. Yeah. We've seen accident victims, and we've seen how we transfer accident victims who are probably dead. Sometimes they're not even dead, but the way we even handle them kills them.
Yeah.
You know, and it tells you that if you keep quiet and watch us do that to normal, ordinary people who are just Ghanaians,
you don't know who it will be next.
We will do it to you one day when you're not there.
These folks who carry the sacks will deliver the sacks somewhere, and they'll go home to their families and relatives. Do we know what contamination
whether they wash their hands
they are carrying in a country where we are not used to? In fact, when we wash hands with just water, no soap. I find it hard to accept that kind of behavior. So there is a lot that this unfortunate accident has brought to the fore that we need. And in terms of journalism, Annie, you and I are trained. We were trained on the ethics of journalism, especially involving the bereaved. We need to exercise discretion. We need to be sensitive. We need, and in fact, my professor, Professor Henrietta Mensah-Bonsu, she taught us the ethics of journalism. And she said, take out sensationalism. You don't know how it's affecting the bereaved person. Don't put out any information until you've confirmed the accuracy. In fact, the family must be informed, because they don't want to sit on TV and see an announcement that their loved one
has passed.
So they must have first knowledge. But today, what do we see?
It breaks and we put it out first.
And the young people, you know, in one of the videos, the reporter was struggling for the guy carrying the sack to confirm that indeed they were remains, and the gentleman did not. Why do you want that detail out as a journalist? So there is a lot for the Ghana Journalist Association.
And the National Media Commission also puts it
and the NMC,
What do we want to do to curtail some of these
yes, because we cannot carry on like this. We cannot.
I saw videos where journalists had tried speaking to people who were weeping, government officials, and the mic was there. And these people were obviously in tears. And when you're in tears, you just can't utter a word.
Can't utter a word, yeah.
And they were still pursuing to ask questions.
Yeah.
And I thought,
yeah,
this is not what we were taught.
Leave them to grieve.
Yes, because I remember in journalism class, we were taught that being a journalist and being in a rush to put out the story first does not make you inhumane.
No, it shouldn't.
If it takes away your humanity, then you should quit the job.
Exactly. Yesterday at the burial ground, you know, we were told, don't take pictures, don't take photos. These are, you see, no child wants to see the grave of their father out there circulating in social media. It's going to give a constant reminder to these children. How did we become like this, that we lost all sensitivity to the other person's feelings?
Yes.
I saw Omanibuame's mother, old woman, crying, and they are pushing the camera into the trying to capture that image. To what end?
I've had the opportunity to do a quick or short training to my news team here, because one of us at some point, you know, when the military man was shot in Ashaiman, and I think we sent one of our reporters, and he had the opportunity to have gone closer to the mother of the deceased, and he made an attempt to talk to the mother. And I said, "Are you crazy? Are you crazy? You don't know."
Yeah. What do you want to hear? What do you expect her to be saying at that time? You know, and why do you want that out? This is a grieving mother.
Well, I think it's an experience that's exposing a lot of weaknesses we have as a nation.
In our systems. Yeah. And I wanted to make a comment when Honorable Ajia was speaking, that as a third point also, that it also, another observation that I've made is it also raises questions about the support systems that we have for our heroes and their families and people who die
in the line of work.
Yes, in the line of duty. How do we deal with that? I mean, individual life insurance policies are something that we want to do. The gallant men who died, the military service officers, there's definitely something about it. But public sector, probably. The party officials, what happens if you don't have a proper, you know, official duty? You know, what happens? I mean, these are things that but they were still working. They were working for the nation. They didn't go there for their own individual interests. They were part of a team that was going to make sure that a duty was carried out. And we shouldn't be political about this because we would do the same. I would travel if the president at the time asked me to do so. So it is what you see happening to an individual that should raise concerns, that what are we doing? Educational insurance policies for the children, you know, etc. I think we must start to see how we deal with some of these issues, because the aftermath and the care for the families that are left behind is also a very important thing that we need to talk about.
Doc, you know, let me just add to it, and it's something that I didn't know this was going to happen, but I think I've mentioned it to some of my friends, that something that bothers me a lot as a member of parliament. We put ourselves up for public service, to serve. We're talking about the widow and the children, and whether there are any systems in place officially to cater for them. Let me tell you, the first victim of Honorable Muntale's demise is going to be his driver, if he has one as an MP. MPs, we recruit our own drivers, and there is no system.
No more, you go.
That's it. So the driver is probably lost a job. He has a family. He doesn't have social security, because I know I'm an MP, and I've thought about it. And actually, it just occurred to me in the last 2 to 3 weeks, and I've said, this system is not right. As a member of parliament, I have to recruit my own driver. I pay him according to what I can. What I can give is what I give, off the table. Most of them don't even have bank accounts. So we're paying them through Momo or by cash. They don't have social security. Which system?
Yes, so they just take wages.
Operates like this. So on the day you are no more MP, the driver automatically is unemployed. Is there a way that we can look at a comprehensive system that caters for everybody? The MP, when you are no more MP, that is it. It ends there. You don't have a pension, you don't have a provident fund, you don't have anything. That is how the system is. And I'm wondering how we put up such a system. And it's 33, 34 years now. So if you see our former colleagues, some of them, their medical bills, they can't pay. And this is one job that I found actually exposes you to a lot of health hazards. Most MPs are diabetic. Not because they are
at the wrong time they eat.
They're eating at the wrong time. Sometimes you're not eating at all. Sometimes you're eating the wrong thing because you are always trying to cover for time. Look at our sitting hours. We sit at, I don't know, when you told they say it's a convention. Why must we be there at midnight? The last time I ate the kenke with Mutala, this was about 9 p.m. Oh, waiting kenke and shito and fish. Yesterday, when we left the cemetery, I had to find somewhere to sit to recover my energy before I could move on. So there are too many things happening in this country that we need to begin to look at. I don't see why Parliament should sit beyond 6 p.m. You live in the same house with your husband and children, and you don't see them because you are on the run. Literally 24 hours a day. Because where I live, if I have to be here, I need to leave home at 5. So my son is still sleeping. If I go to Parliament from here and I close at midnight, by the time I get home, he's already in bed. Where is the bonding? So public office holders are making too many sacrifices.
But it behoves on you. I mean, being on this platform and us have throwing more light on these matters. You have an opportunity to make a statement in these areas. We've discussed issues of system support. Seriously. We discussed issues of widow support. Exactly. We discussed issues of safety in terms of emergencies. Yes,
So these are the realities on the ground. And that is so much work for everybody to do. So sometimes, when you hear some of the comments, very unfortunate, because most people don't also understand what we give to do what we do. And these gentlemen all just perished, working for Ghana, working to save this country, working to save our environment, working to save our water bodies, working to keep you and I alive.
Now, there's the issue also on the prophecies that have taken over sort of the whole discussion. This release came from His Excellency, the Office of the President. And the release says that strengthening spiritual partnership for national direction and healing. It reads, greetings of peace and grace from the Office of the President Envoy for Interfaith and Ecumenical Relations. On behalf of the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and the Office of the President Envoy, I extend heartfelt appreciation to you and your various denominations for your unwavering spiritual support and intercessory prayers and sustained leadership in promoting peace, moral integrity, and national unity. Your role in Ghana's spiritual and civic life remains indispensable as part of the strengthening national coordination on spiritual matters, especially in these times of uncertainty and complexity. We kindly encourage you to inform all prophets, men and women of God under your oversight that any prophecy or
spiritual insights of the national nature, especially those with implications for the high-profile political leaders, governance, national security, public stability, should be formally relayed to the Office of the President Envoy for urgent review and appropriate escalation. This is the spirit of responsibility, discernment, and also stewardship over the nation's destiny. Right. Let me continue here. And it says that, furthermore, in light of the tragic incident that occurred recently, which claimed lives and involving government officials, military personnel, and NDC party executives, we humbly request your intense prayers for 1. the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the government and all state institutions, and then 3, the bereaved families and the entire nation of Ghana. May the Lord comfort the afflicted, guide our leaders, and continue to preserve our beloved country. We look forward to continued partnership and shared spiritual responsibility as we work together for the peace and prosperity of Ghana. Signed, sincerely, Elvis Afriyanka, President Envoy for Interfaith and Ecumenical Relations, Office of the President, Republic of Ghana. So this is, of course, copied to the churches, and it's to all ecumenical heads for your information and onward delivery. That's exactly what. So, producers, if you can just put Elvis Afriyanka on the line. I think he's also trying to reach us. So call him back with a studio line, and then we can have an interaction with him on this call. Let me engage my okay. So we have the former party official who is the head of this body that has been set aside by the Office of the President, Envoy for Interfaith and Ecumenical Relations, Elvis Afriyanka. Thank you for your time, sir. Good morning to you. Welcome to Good Morning Ghana.
Good morning, and good morning to your panelists and your viewers.
Condolences to you, to start with. Condolences to you and the party and everybody affected by this. So, first, let's. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's now understand this office. We've had this formal release from you yesterday, and you've sent, I don't know if I should describe it as a plea to the churches and persons who, seem to have some spiritual insight concerning the nation, and you've directed them to your office so that we can streamline some of this information that comes through. Let's help us understand exactly what this work is about.
Okay, so as the name denotes, is the Office of the Envoy for Interfaith and Ecumenical Relations. Our country is made up of 60-70% Christians, 20-30% Muslims, and traditionalists. So faith plays a very important role in our body politic. And the president felt that it was important for him to have somebody who could coordinate and collaborate, working with and through the Ministry of Chieftaincy, Religious Affairs and Local Governments, and other agencies to coordinate their affairs. You have situations where various faith organizations and bodies have various issues that confront them. They want to call on the president. They want to engage various people within the political and governance space, and therefore my job is to coordinate all these activities, Muslim, Christian, traditional, and all other faiths. So that in some way is the nature of the work that we do. Can I go with the real issues that you called me? Hello?
Yes, Mr. Ankra. So they have a contact line or a way to get to you when they have some interest. We've seen some of the videos of some of the pastors complaining that, they call, sometimes they see some of these things, they call, they don't get access. Some claim, and I'm using it advisedly, they could have done something about, accidents and incidents that occur, that happens, that hits the nation in a certain way. So do they have, an access route of how to get to you, a contact you've provided and all that?
Yes, there is, and we provided that number. But let me put the issues in their proper context. As you rightly said, since the sad events of last Wednesday, we've seen various videos and TikTok, so many things about various prophecies, some very, very scary. And by and large, a lot of them state that when they see these visions or get these dreams, they don't have any access or avenue by which they can communicate to those concerned or to government officials. We don't pick our calls, they don't have any access to us, they can't come to Jubilee House. So we have created this avenue for them to be able to direct those specific type of prophecies. And it's important that I state clearly that we are not saying that they should not prophesy. They have every right to prophesy in their churches publicly on any event that they deem fit. The only distinction is that we're saying that any prophecy or spiritual insight of a national nature, especially those with implications for high-profile political leaders, governance, and national security or public stability, should be channeled through these means. And I use an example in another country just for people to get a context. Imagine tomorrow morning we wake up and there's a prophecy that some man of God comes up in the States and says that the Air Force One is going to crash. And I'm sure if you know that there will be some interesting developments, if you know what I mean. So there's a biblical basis for what we are doing too. If you go to 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 20 to 21, the Bible says, do not despise prophecies, but test all things. So it's biblical that you should not despise, don't just throw it away, but you weigh it and assess it, number one. Number two, the Bible says in 1 John 4:1 that we should test the spirits, and that not all spirits are of God. It's biblical. Number three, the Bible says in 1 Corinthians 6, verse 12, that all things are lawful, but not all things are beneficial or permissible. So you may see the vision, you may have the prophecy and all that, but is it the way you communicate it? Is it going to be in the national interest? Is it going to cause fear and panic? Is it going to cause consternation? For example, we are in a period of mourning now, and people are saying that, oh, this is just the beginning. Many, many people are going to die. It's as if it's like, there's a problem somewhere. We must all be honest with ourselves. So this is an avenue for those who genuinely and sincerely really, really have seen things and they want to help, but they don't know how to go about it. A channel and an avenue has been created. There are seasoned men and women of God who understand these things, who are gifted, they wait and assess it. I can tell you, and that there are some of the people who have given those prophecies. They're already being engaged behind the scenes. I can't mention names. So this is just to bring some sort of order so that we can all work together.
Okay. So now that, some of them, they're in church and sort of they speak without necessarily waiting for a certain time. Do they have, now that there is a streamlined way of going about this, do they still have the chance to speak to their church members, or they are restricted now that they must strictly abide by this once it concerns the nation or any national leader? It has to be controlled.
Okay, so again, we go to the Bible. The Bible is very clear on how these things should be handled. Okay, the Bible says that the spirit of the prophets are subject to the prophets. I think it's in 1 Corinthians 12 or so. I'm not sure. Somebody can help me. But what it means is that when you're in a church, and when Paul was teaching, he said, you are in a church, somebody has seen a vision, somebody has a prophecy, somebody has a song. You must be able to control it. Otherwise, this person will be prophesying, this person will be singing, this person will be given a revelation or a vision. There will be chaos. So Paul says that the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets. So you must, and it is biblical. Again, the foundation is the Bible. You must have that self-control.
That's 1 Corinthians 14:32.
Okay, thank you. Well, thank you very much, Madam Bible Scholar. So and the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets. So God is not the author of confusion, 33, but of peace. For God is not the author of confusion, but of peace. So we are just appealing to them. That for me, it hurts me a lot when people are lambasting pastors and prophets as if they are all charlatans and fools. It's not true. For every so-called one bad pastor, there are thousands and thousands of them that are doing great work. So I help and support missionary work. If you know what pastors are going through in our rural areas, in our rural communities, taking the gospel to the depths of this world is not a joke. So I will be the last people to condemn pastors and prophets. No, they are doing a great job under very difficult circumstances. But we must also not create the opportunity and avenue for people to unnecessarily lambast us. So we're saying that there has to be a certain order. We must exercise self-control. When you yourself, God has given all of us wisdom, realize that those prophecy, and again, using Air Force One as an example. I don't want to use Ghana because people have the tendency to misinterpret and misquote. I'm using Air Force One. You wake up and you say, Air Force One is going to crash. Believe me, many things are going to happen that day. So let's look at things from that perspective. It's not everything that when you see, you must say publicly. You can give a hint, okay? It's allowed. Let's use the wisdom. God is the source and author of wisdom. So the wisdom God has given us, let's use it and let's manage this situation, because unfortunately, what is happening is that this is rather denting the credibility of the church. That is the concern. This is rather denting the credibility. People don't even want to hear about pastors and prophets, and it's very painful. You don't want to hear, oh, those people, they are all charlatans, you know. So the thing that is meant to glorify God is rather now becoming a problem for all of us. So I am just appealing that it is in our collective interest as Christians. And we are not leaving out our Muslim brothers and all other things. But the reality is that it is mostly the Christian pastors and prophets who are on social media. So we are appealing to them. This is not to guard them.
There was a I don't know if it was a warning or an advice from the police somewhere last year or 2 years ago, when the prophets were warned by the police service that you cannot be giving any prophecy anyhow, else you'll be arrested by the police. How are you going to reconcile this with your office?
We are not giving warning. We are not giving police. Our statement is very clear. We are talking about collaboration and working together to achieve a common goal. That is our mandate. Right. We don't have the powers of arrest. We don't have the powers of force. They have their job to do. So I cannot speak for them. But I'm talking from our perspective. We want to collaborate more and ensure that we do things that will enhance national unity, peace, and stability.
Right. If you will educate me, do you have any religious title?
Me?
Yes.
Elvis.
Elvis, thank you for speaking to us this morning. Good morning, Ghana. Elvis Afriyankra is the one representing communicable office, and he's an envoy at the office of the president. So with all these, prophecies all over the place, there is an office that's been set up to streamline and make the system sane. Let me read a few messages from you. Good morning, Annie. The issues with regards Kofi, I can tell you for a fact that Kofi Akpalu's apology is not sincere or genuine. Oh, has he apologized? So he knows exactly what he's doing. He was sent by those with whom he exchanged his ballot paper with. When they saw things weren't going well, because they had assumed the media affiliates would support the narrative, he was asked to push off some of them, especially OKFM and these are allegations. I don't know that. So realizing the agenda was failing, they quickly arranged with their other affiliate stations, I'm not going to mention, and they gave him, they made him do damage control to apologize. But Kofi has already said what he intended to say, and this so-called apology will never be accepted. Carlos from Odododio, I don't know if you're a family member, but I honestly think that if he has genuine apology to make, he should go to the family members of the departed souls. I think they are the ones, you know, and it's so disappointingly, the media platforms are being used. I don't know how professional we are, and I sit here with all the embarrassment and the shame to say this. I saw on X, formerly known as Twitter, that One to Me, a social media platform, had used its platform to denigrate Ghana. And you know what they did? They put the coat of arms and they turned it upside down. Do you know that's treasonous? I don't even know how. So who is allowing this in media houses that have been approved, signed by the Media Commission, that we are doing the right things in the media? They turned the coat of arms upside and they put it up on social media. I don't know where the national security was. I don't know where the information ministry was. I mean, the office of the president was. I don't know the communication ministry, if they saw it. But I'm saying it here. And then I saw Akpalu's comments on same media house. And I was wondering why. I don't know. I don't care if you drag me for this. Because this is Ghana. I don't care if you drag me for this. It is uncalled for. If you know you cannot practice media, you just exit. Because you are between the politicians and the people. And you can't turn down the coat of arms and say you're speaking for the people. So that's my two pesos. Let me go to Mark from USA. He says that, good morning, Annie. Jute sacks self-ignite at certain temperature around 193 degrees Celsius. Prolonged exposure to high temperature can also increase the likelihood of ignition, particularly if combined with poor ventilation, which can trap heat and further elevate the temperature within the jute. NADMO has body bags all over. A mistake was made carrying the charred bodies of our heroes in jute sacks. That's it. It is what it is. It was a mistake. Let's not try to justify it was a big mistake. Let's learn from it and correct the future. Mark from USA is the one that's always been with us at dawn whenever we start this program. Thank you, Mark, for this information. And it is clear that even jute bags can set ablaze at 193 degrees Celsius. Good morning, Annie, to you and your panel members. My deepest condolences to the families of the 8 victims of the helicopter crash. God protects us and save us all now. The fight against Galamsey, I think it is about time we use the shoot and kill approach. I don't know if that would be advised, but it looks like it's getting there. We are almost getting angry as a people. And we are tired about the Galamsey issue now. If we don't eliminate these Galamseyers, they will continue to eliminate us. Master Planner Junior Policy Analyst Kintampo is the one that sent this in. Let me also read a few before I take a break. Please let the MP know that the whole system needs total overhaul, not just for MPs. A worker works a whole of his life or her youthful life, contribute to SNIT, to build hospitals, and during retirement cannot even get subsidized proper medical care for the facilities. She now has the opportunity to be part of the legislature, so she should champion such a cause. So, well, we have actually mentioned the issue of system supports, right? Our social security system obviously is weak, and that's why we are suffering all these. So we all obia benyane there. Like they say, it go reach everyone. So Mansa Musa says that, Annie, we don't need a soothsayer or prophecies to determine possible accidents and incidents, especially on our roads. This in this where we've gotten to in this day and age, the 21st century, we are relying on soothsayers or oracle performers. Gosh, we have a long way to go, honestly, for the government to invite soothsayers and oracle performers and prophecy peddlers on these issues
is quite something. And we can count about 500,000 churches in every district. If there were any benefit in them, Black Africa would have been on top of the world. What a shame, Ghana. Good morning from Mansa Musa, also from UK. And he and Mac from USA have always been contributors to our program, so we don't, hold back reading their messages. Let me just quickly do this. Happy birthday to lawyer Seth Adom Asumeni from wife Mrs. Diana Asumeni, Frederick Edu Amwako of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and the entire family as well. So happy birthday to you, lawyer Seth Adom Asumeni. We hope that God protects you from now onwards. Well, let me also wish a happy birthday to Peter Mensah. Peter Mensah is also a member of the NDC, a member of the communications team, an executive for that matter. Happy birthday to you. And also to the Foreign Minister, Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa, Member of Parliament for North Tongue constituency. Today it so happens to be your birthday. Happy birthday to you as well. I know that it's really not a day to say happy birthday, so I will say a word of prayer to all of you. May your souls and your bodies and your movements and all the activities you do, at least to serve the nation, be protected and guarded by the Almighty Allah. Let's take a breather. When we come back, we'll wrap up on the show.
When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll,
Here at Mycom JA Limited to show you the Promethean Active Panel, the ultimate tool for corporate institutions, hospitals, schools, and your home. With its crystal clear 4K display and an unbreakable screen with an ultra responsive touch technology, this isn't just a screen, it's a game changer. For corporate institutions and in schools, this active panel can be used for Zoom meetings and PowerPoint presentation. And your homes are not left behind. You can use it to watch all your favorite programs by just connecting to a Fire Stick, and you can get access to channels like Netflix and Amazon, and voila, you are in there. At Mycom JA Limited, we provide you with the best quality products from the United States of America with 1-year warranty. You can get an active panel at a discounted price of 18,000 Ghana Cedi only, and it comes with a Fire Stick, a webcam, and a micro system. You can locate us at Chado Container behind the Trade Fair. Visit Mycom JA Limited today and elevate your tech.
Ebusiafo ye mama kwaba eba Children's Palace. Nkwala nyema nyina fie enye. Yonkwala ntade mani mema nyina ntare na wase. Yonkwala shoes, yonkwala duane, yonkwala wipes, yonkwala diapers, yonkwala toys, baby cot. In fact, bibia opama omanyina obenye biwa ase.
are located at East Legon Hills, Nana Krum KFC. Contact us on 059 6377 172. Children's Palace. Happy children, happy fashion. See you soon. Bye bye.
Wabedum time aso. Hey, J. Watch it, na learning. Missy, watch and learn. Makwaya mabesisia. Abozege. Akache say no ya konate and the more drink woman. Hey. But I didn't mean. Oh, sorry. She knew her old days. Eji. Dabi o, baby wom. Ready? Hey, baby wom. Ah, Eji. I'll cause some discomfort. Ah. Sorry, well, uncle, where would the dad? Why your funeral? At your phone for Aerofield Trading. Sorry, it killed them all.
Na mumshe na ndadanya waso mosquito coil esudu wo munumu. Na se spray wo dan mu so a twansima adronum ansa na akodan no mu.
Enkratoi FDA ajatum.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo Kendini, a who be here, Sametra Sapapadia to a mammy mouthful. Kel Charcoal's natural ingredients, and a bomb is so buying, a man is swing, and a sansu mama hoto so a will beg you.
Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Choose Kel Charcoal Toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever, my Lord, thou hast taught me to say, it is well, with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul.
Yeah. Welcome back. Well, we're having just, some behind the scenes discussion, which is equally important. Now, we've talked about, we've had the opportunity to speak with Elvis Efriye Ankra, who is heading the ecumenical team and trying to streamline the system when it comes to spiritual matters that we all don't know, we all can see, and so probably has to be streamlined in a way. I think it's a good way to go. It doesn't mean that we're relying on it solely, and it doesn't mean that you don't need prayers. For those of you who don't really believe in prayers, please allow the system that believes in prayers to work, that believes in Allah to work, that believes in God to also, work. But you are still at, liberty to join any association that you want to or believe. We have also discussed the issues of system support. So, Mamiesi, I've seen your message and I read it. Obviously, we all need that help, not just the leaders. But if the leaders are in good states, it definitely will trickle down. So I think in building, as their party says, resetting, they may want to consider proper resets. It's not just reset of speaking English language, we've also discussed the issue of widows and persons who lose their lives in the line of duty to the nation. They would have to be supported. She has given us her word that the women caucus in Parliament are going to sit and chart a path in trying to secure a system that will also support these vulnerable people, the children, the wives. I'm sure husbands will also be included because they are women who are also leaders of the country. So let's see how that also comes, pans out. The issue of safety has also been raised. That this has exposed that proper how we respond to emergencies. Even the military, we can't say they did a yeoman's job. But, all in all, we want to salute Honorable Haruna Idrisu. We also want to salute the Ashanti Regional Minister, Dr. Marco Hene. You did your best in the breakout of the story. You did your best, and you pulled through. And Haruna is still, on the ground, sort of managing and moving things around with everything that's going on. So thank you very much. I think you've done a good job. A lot of people are praising these people also on social media. Well done for the work that you've done. Now, the issue of Galamsey. Let me just sort of give you a scoop of what we're discussing behind the scenes. And it had to do with how it's like when the president is going somewhere, every minister must be there. Every minister holding a portfolio must be there. Because that program, like we already have, the president was supposed to have been there, but didn't because of another program. Did we need all the ministers to be there? What difference was that going to make? Can we now rethink of some of these things so that we reduce the risk if there should be anything of this nature? And people are asking questions also about the fact that, why are we not mourning people who have died and this one is not different? You guys don't understand. When you have a leader, you have a leader. It's like having a father of a family and the father dying. The family instantly becomes disabled until something is put in. And that's why when it's a leader that dies, it's a big deal. So we're looking at all these things. But then more importantly is the Galamsey matter. It is what snatched the life of Adam, Major Mahama. And now we have 8 gallant men just gone within a twinkle of an eye. So I'll come back to my leaders also on the platform. Honorable Zura, this time I'll start with you. All that we're talking about, it has been the cause of Galamsey, and then we'll also mention the issue of how we can control the movements of our leaders, where they have to be, where they don't have to be. At the program, if at most we have one minister, it's okay. You don't need everybody there. You don't need, even if you don't have a minister, it's really not, I can appreciate the fact that they want to be on the field. They want to be working, that we know. But is it all necessary?
Annie, Galamsey. And I want to refer to something I read and hoping that it captured exactly what the senior comrade said. I read somewhere that one of our very senior party members, our former ambassador to Netherlands, Honorable Tony Edu, said, if we don't kill Galamsey, Galamsey will kill us. I think that is where we are. I've struggled in the last few years to actually determine when this phenomenon of Galamsey started in this country. Maybe it was ongoing and we didn't know, but it looks to me like it's quite a recent phenomenon. And so you ask yourself, how did we get here? How did we even allow it to start? Mm-hmm. And that again goes back to all all the issues that we were discussing before, where there are times that certain issues actually have been legislated on. There are laws and there are bylaws in the various districts and communities that have to be invoked to curtail certain activities, but which unfortunately are not being done. So I can't pinpoint exactly when Galamsey started, but all we saw was Galamsey, and the talk of the country everywhere was Galamsey. We saw the ravages of Galamsey on our water bodies. We saw the ravages of Galamsey to our forest reserves. And we saw the ravages of Galamsey to our very lives, where children in this country are born deformed because of the sheer chemicals that Galamseyers are putting in our water bodies. The Ghana Water Company Limited has had cause to lament the issue of Galamsey and how it is affecting its operations in processing potable water for the people of this country. So Galamsey has become an all-encompassing problem. It touches you everywhere. No one is exempt from the ravages of Galamsey. As we speak, Annie, people, I haven't seen, but I've heard people say that sometimes you buy a tuber of yam on the market. You get home, you slice it, and there's water.
In the yam? In
the yam. So this is yam that is grown around these areas where every facet of the environment has been contaminated by Galamsey activities. We didn't need, as a country, we didn't need this accident to raise our consciousness about Galamsey. It was clear that Galamsey was ready to consume all of us in one way or the other. You don't know, I went on a campaign. I left home for 3 months. When I got back, I found, usually we'll buy this size of water for the fridge, for drinking. But I saw the big ones. And I asked my husband, what is all this? He said, oh, lately they are not following the Galamsey menace. He's worried about the 7-year-old boy. So this is the water he now uses to make his Tom Brown and oats. As we speak, this is my coffee. I made the coffee from mineral water.
Yeah.
We don't trust the water
from the taps anymore.
From the taps. You don't know what it contains. So we are all at risk. I don't know those who are engaged in Galamsey and the monies they are making, because I'm told they are making a lot of money, and how they are spending that money. You can't be rich and live in bondage. Mm-hmm. You can't have all the money and import water to drink. You are not being fair to yourself. Can we go back to the days where we cared about our neighbor, where our neighbor's issue was our issue? Can we go back to the days where we could just go to the backyard, uproot cassava, harvest plantain, harvest garden egg, tomato, akukwa wisa, slaughter the domestic bird and have a meal? Why can't we do that? We have everything. But if we allow Galamsey to take over all our land, it means you and I very soon will have to find money to import pepper, onion, salt, because it has no limit. It's taking over the country. Mm-hmm. We don't want to believe that we will still continue on the path before 6 August. I don't want to believe that this country will continue on that path. We are going to have to take some very drastic measures, some very realistic and pragmatic measures to curb Galamsey. The officers set off public servants to launch a laudable program to reset the whole Galamsey environment, empowering people with skills to look at a more sustainable way of mining. We've been mining in this country since independence. We've never had this. How were we doing it before? What were the gaps, the loopholes with the system that we had that we never had Galamsey? What did Galamsey come to solve? What problem did Galamsey come to solve within our mining industry?
Unemployment.
But you can't kill everybody. If unemployment means killing everybody, then that is it. So we are not there to come because we are on that path.
That's the reason they are there.
That's why we are going.
That's the reason they give.
And they will tell you, those who go there will tell you the number of people who died there, engaged in this very activity. They are not making the news. They are not on the radar. But too many people are losing their lives, even in the Galamsey activity. So now, those people are dying. Public officials who are supposed to have a duty, a responsibility to take care of this country are dying. Since when did we become this materialistic? Since when did you and I want to just have it all? Hajia, Zuira, she has it all. Everyone else can go. No, our society has never been like that. And I think it is time that we retrace our steps in order to save ourselves and save our children and save this country.
Doc, let me bring you in. We have a few minutes to go. Maybe you can have some 5 minutes.
You know, I think whenever it comes to Galamsey, I get very emotional. The politicization of illegal mining in Galamsey is what has given us it has taken away our ability to speak about it objectively, because it becomes very subjective. Who is acknowledging what the previous administration did? What was going to be commissioned? It wasn't a new project. It was a rehash of an old program with additions. I read it, and even the report acknowledged that Responsible Cooperative Mining and Skills Development Program is a rehash of NAELP, National Alternative Employment and Livelihood Program. And so it means, so there was NAELP, and then there was an addition. So the new one is Responsible Cooperative Mining and Skills Development Program. You know, so there's a continuation. I was very happy that at least, even if it's a rehash, a repackage, you know, additions have been made, then it means someone has ingeniously thought to see what was needed to be added, you know, because skills development and alternative livelihood is a very important part of making sure that you can take people from the sector. But Annie, that said, can we objectively start talking about what needs to be done about Galamsey? Just before elections, this huge cry for a state of emergency. And then suddenly, nobody is talking about that state of emergency anymore. Does it mean that we've gotten some research that has proven that Galamsey has now been reduced, the rate of destruction of the environment has been reduced, so all the promises and everything we heard before has all been suspended? Maybe this is time for us to have a proper national dialogue, and that's something that hasn't happened before. It's been discussed and discussed. There's been traditional leaders brought into a national dialogue. Previous administration, we did all of it. But sometimes when we refuse to call a spade, this is where we get to. And I'm happy you said that starting from Major Mahama till now, we are looking at the lives that have been lost, not just engaging in Galamsey itself, but also in the line of duty to go and attempt to do something about it. And I wanted to point, when I was looking at some of the pictures that you're talking about, I have been to a collapsed Galamsey pit before. You see like dead bodies just scattered in the pit.
Hey.
Yes, I've seen it before. I saw it like 7 or 8 years. No, even before NPP came into power. This is 2012, 2013, when I was working in the mining sector. There was everything there. I was asking myself, and you know what the interesting thing is? People were actually walking on the body. Yes, ice water sellers. Everybody was in the pit, and they were now. It was. I've never seen such an image before, and I asked myself, we are becoming inhumane.
Yes.
And that's how they are. When they are there searching for gold. And one of them made a flippant remark to me that, you know.
Yes, I've heard that.
Yes, you've heard that before.
I've heard that before.
Yes. So for me, sometimes if we start to have a proper objective discussion, not just about the measures that are taking place, but how we are even educating and sensitizing people to the amount of destruction that is being caused, and not just sensationalizing it for political gain, maybe we would achieve something. And I want to say thank you to His Excellency, the former Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. I see that your front page here talks about his statesmanship, how he quickly went to the presidency, offered his sincere condolence and his support and the appreciation of the fact that he's joined and shown that statesmanship and imagery to say that this is Ghana mourning, and this is not about one political party's loss, but it's a loss for the whole nation. Thank you.
How is it?
That's very important.
You've done exactly what you spoke against.
Sorry?
You've done exactly what you spoke about, about politicizing everything.
No. I find the fact that he shows statesmanship coming out and doing that, to tell us that it is not about the fact that this is for you or this is for me.
What
but it's about the fact that this is for all of Ghana.
Everything.
And I like the fact that he showed statesmanship by coming out and saying, this is a time when we are all mourning. So it's important that I show up and do that. And I think that is very, very symbolic and significant. And I hope what he did goes to speak to all the masses that please don't make it into an individual fight. Let's make it into what belongs to Ghana and what we need to do. And that's why I said in the beginning that if we start talking about the fight against galamsey, and we keep talking in the subjective tone of politics, and that's the rhetoric that is going on. Aja, whether we want to do it, want to say it or not, that is the rhetoric that is going on. So let's make a passionate appeal where we start to ask ourselves, how far have we come? What measures have we taken? And let's try to do it objectively and stop criticizing and punching at each other. Because today we've come to realize that when we are losing lives, it doesn't care who it is. You said it yourself. Nobody is saved from galamsey. It will come. So what do we do? When I saw what I saw about, I think it was almost 12 years ago, it was in 2013. When I saw what I saw at that point in time, it wasn't about who belongs where. It was about a whole lot of people that had lost their lives, families and etc. So it is a fight that is going to go on, and we have to find an objective way of having the conversation to deal properly with it.
All right, I raised an issue and I actually posed the first question. Mark from USA gave a response to it. Let me just read it. He said that, in response to your question, whether ministers should accompany the president to every program depends on several factors and not always necessary. You see, the nature of the program comes into play. Some events require the presence of specific ministers. For instance, the foreign minister would likely accompany the president to meetings with foreign dignitaries or international conferences. President discretion. The president also has the final say on who accompanies him to different events. Now, they may also choose. So can we also now make changes to the president's discretion? That even makes me giggle. And he says that the president also has a final say on who accompanies him to different events. Now, they may choose to have a minister present for various reasons, including providing expert advice and the symbolism and message. The presence or absence of the particular minister can also be a subtle or explicit message about the event's importance, priorities.
Are you a Ghanaian business ready to conquer new frontiers? From October 23rd to 25th, 2025, Ghana Fest Europe is your direct bridge to the lucrative Dutch and broader European markets. This is the ultimate platform to showcase your high-quality Ghanaian products and services. Ghana Fest Europe, proudly presented by Ram Media Concept in collaboration with the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, GNCCI, and under the auspices offices of key Ghanaian government ministries and agencies. Facilitate powerful B2B networking. Attract foreign direct investment into your enterprise, from fintech to agro-processing, real estate to pharmaceuticals. This is not just an expo, it's a strategic launchpad for your business. Whether you want to exhibit your products directly to thousands of potential European buyers or attend our exclusive B2B conference for targeted matchmaking. Ghana Fest Euro is your chance to forge partnerships that will transform your growth trajectory. Opportunities like this are rare. Spaces for exhibitors are highly competitive, and B2B slots fill up fast. Don't let your business be left behind. Visit GhanaFestEurope.com or GhanaChamber.org right now to secure your spot, or pick up your registration forms directly from any GNCCI office in Accra. The time to expand is now.
Some loves are born in the blink of an eye, and they kill your soul in a flash. Televisa presents You Are the One. Angela dreams of keeping her promise to be a great doctor and help her people. To Alvaro, ambition is stronger than his dream, and this greed will lead him to commit the worst betrayal to the woman he loves, turning all her dreams into painful disappointments and dangerous consequences.
Llevo horas esperando que me contestes, Álvaro. No he sabido nada de ti, te mandé muchos mensajes y no me contestas.
Ya te saliste de la terminal.
Tal de pagarle y poderme salir de esto.
Con estas fotos vamos a vender muy, pero muy bien a nuestra minita de oro.
¿Estás novio? ¿Estás bien?
Smart, bold, unapologetic. This is Annie Ampofo. The voice of reason, a force of media. She's the one Ghana turns to every Monday morning for the headlines that matter and the conversations that shape all of us.
And on the basis of Article 34, that's the Directive Principles of State Policy, we meet here again this morning, and you're welcome to Good Morning Ghana.
And when the afternoon rolls in, she's back, cutting through the noise, asking the tough questions, and bringing clarity to the issues that matter.
A committee to investigate containers carrying ECG cables that are meant for Ghanaians or meant to provide light for the good people of Ghana.
In the morning, in the afternoon, Annie Ampofo isn't just reporting the news. She's shaping the conversations that shape all of us. Annie Ampofo, smart, fearless, unmatched, only on Metro TV.
show-stopping. A somewhat ragged performance from Alcaraz. But most importantly, he gets the win and extends his winning streak.